Don't you know if you take Star Trek and sex and rock and roll, you get something truly fascinating nowadays?
Yeah, Dave Stoelk in a story.
This colony is isolated, exposed, out on the edge of nowhere.
Carl Miller has seen every episode of Star Trek.
Yeah, this is awesome. Watch this part right here.
But Carl belongs to a certain sect of Trekkies.
We more focus on the sexual aspects of Star Trek and really the rampant drinking that goes on kind of behind the scenes in a lot of episodes.
Doctor, you are a sensualist.
Carl has Trekkie friends who stop by his Sacramento home to get their Trekkie fix.
A regard for sentience. There's no time for that.
They also share Carl's belief that the 60s sci-fi series was TV's early and veiled attempt to show steamy sex on the small screen.
The captain got it on probably more in the old series than in any of the series since.
It's all about sex with you guys.
Well, and the booze.
Oh, okay. I don't want to peg you down to just one.
It's all rock and roll.
Yeah. Ah, yes, rock and roll. Carl, you see, is a musician, and this is where he enters a whole new Trekkie universe, a mind meld of sex, rock and roll, and Star Trek.
To boldly go where no man has gone before.
You're right. My true love would be writing songs about Star Trek.
Carl and his friends formed a Star Trek tribute band called Warp 11. Carl is captain and lead singer. Kiki is science officer and backup vocals. Brian is chief engineer and lead guitarist. Jeff is the chief medical officer as well as the band's drummer. Your first CD was called Suck My Spock. And they just released a follow-up CD, Red Alert. Everything I do with William Shatner. What's that about?
It's really more of a fantasy than anything else.
Another single is Trekkie Girl.
Trekkie Girl! Trekkie Girl!
What's Wormhole about?
It's self-explanatory. It's about having sex.
Warp 11 gets regular airplay on alternative radio stations and has a cult following.
And people really got into it quickly, and it's just been growing and growing ever since.
Yeah! Warp 11!
But not everyone is a fan.
We went to a convention one time, and some of the ones who really take themselves very seriously, quite frankly, were a little offended by what we do.
Spock Me, Shock Me, what's that about?
That one's actually a little different. That one's about having sex and drinking.
Captain, it's not about Star Trek, is it?
No, man. It's about the sex.
If you're like me, you're probably wondering where you can get a copy of Red Alert or Suck My Spock. That would be online, Malou, warp11.com. You like that?